I won an Emmy for Bad Moon Rising, about PMS, and I remember when I watched the first time they aired it, I was in New York City with a couple friends who were married, and known them for a long time, and we sat and watched it. I was laughing my head off, and really, my friends, Dana, was sitting there and really kind of stone cold. And I kept kind of looking over and thinking, why aren't they laughing? Well, apparently it was just, they must have just had this fight because it was too close to home. And I noticed she kept kind of looking over at her husband. And, I just thought, oh, this show is too good because it's really upsetting people. Um, it was so much fun to do. And it's absolutely spot on as far as, I mean, I've had to say to my own husband, I think I'm ovulating. I'm going to be really cranky this week. That show just hit the nail on the head. And that also was verbatim Phil and Monica's conversations with each other, Bad Moon Rising. And I think, that year, I knew I was sort of a front runner because of that PMS episode. So it was, I knew that there was a good chance I would get it. So I was kind of prepared. The second one was a complete and utter shock, and I was not at all prepared. And it was right after 9/11. And, our whole cast was together in New York City on 9/11. So it was very emotional. And by the time they had to postpone the Emmys because of that. I think we ended up doing them end of November or something. And the soldiers had all been deployed to Afghanistan, and it was a very emotional time. And Ellen DeGeneres was the host that year too, and she did a marvelous job of making it appropriate and still funny and entertaining. I have great admiration for her abilities, and so that was really shocking, but wonderful, of course. Um, when I think of how I used to live in New York and could never get a job and lived in like 8 different crappy apartments, um, and then finding yourself sitting at these awards shows and having people you've always admired come up to you and say, "Oh, I love your work on the show." It's just a dream come true, and it's like lightning in a bottle to get on a show like that and have that experience. So it was pretty wonderful.